Anyway, I don't have any opening statements, so Mary, you want to start us?
Yeah, sure. So on Rafah, Matt, Israeli delegation is not coming here. How will the U.S. be able to present its alternative proposals to Israel since they're not going to be here this week?
So I saw the statement from the government of Israel. I would say it was a bit surprising and unfortunate. The UN Security Council resolution that passed today, from which the United States abstained, there were issues issues with which we had concerns related to that resolution. The fact that it did not condemn Hamas's terrorist attacks of October 7th. That's why we didn't vote for it. But the reason we didn't veto it is because there were also things in that resolution that were consistent with our long-term position. Most importantly, that there should be a ceasefire and that there should be a release of hostages, which is what we understood also to be the government of Israel's position. So it is a bit surprising and unfortunate that they're not going to apparently attend these meetings because, as you heard the secretary say in Tel Aviv on Friday after he met with Prime Minister Netanyahu and other members of the Israeli government, we believe that, number one, a full-scale invasion of Rafah would be a mistake. It would be a mistake not just because of the civilian harm that it would cause, which would be immense. There are somewhere around 1.4 million people in Rafah now, and the government of Israel has not presented a credible plan to evacuate those people to other areas and take care of them once they were moved. But also, and this was, I think, an important thing that the secretary said, we also think that this type of invasion would weaken Israel's security. It would make Israel less safe, not more safe. It would undermine its standing in the world. So we are ready to present to them plans that we believe would achieve their legitimate goal, which is the defeat of Hamas, but would do so in a way that does not cause undue civilian harm and does not weaken Israel's overall security. So we will look forward to continuing to have those discussions with them.
But I mean, do you have a plan right now, like when that would happen? Would that be over the phone? Would Secretary Blinken go? Would you try to, and also, has there been any communication with the Israeli government at high level following this decision?
So a few things in order. So first of all, we started these discussions with them last week in Tel Aviv. As you know, the secretary discussed the potential invasion of Rafah with Prime Minister Netanyahu and the War Cabinet in Tel Aviv and laid out our very serious concerns. Defense Minister Gallant is here today. He'll be meeting with the secretary in a little over 2 hours, and I would expect that will be the subject of conversations in that meeting. And I understand he has a meeting with other officials in the government over the course of today and tomorrow. So we will have those discussions there. And then I am sure we will find other ways to make our concerns known to the government of Israel at very senior levels, but I don't have anything to announce with respect to that today. And then with respect to your final question, so we have had ongoing communications with officials from the Israeli government about this UN Security Council resolution going back multiple days, going back to last week. And we had talked about different versions. As you may recall, there was a different draft that was put forward first that called for a permanent ceasefire, which is not something that we supported. We want, as you know, want to see an immediate ceasefire, but linked to hostages, and then we want to build that into something more enduring. So we had been in close contact with them about this resolution. And as I said, we believe this resolution is consistent with our policy on this matter and consistent with what we believe to be the government of Israel's policy. So we have had conversations with them over the last 24 hours, and I'm sure those will continue.
Yeah, just a couple of other things. Just to be sure, so will Secretary discuss with Defense Minister Gallant the alternatives that United States was going to no?
That will not be the main. I am sure that it will come up to some extent, but we do not have a detailed presentation along those lines planned for this meeting today.
Okay, and I hope you don't call this a hypothetical. This is now very much a high possibility that everybody has the sense that whatever happens, regardless of you presenting alternative options or not, Israel will just go ahead with this offensive the way it sees it appropriate. They have said this publicly. Actually, Prime Minister Netanyahu said it on the day that Secretary Blinken, we were there on Friday, we will go alone if need be. So what is the United States going to try to stop it if that would be the case?
So I think I would answer that by saying we will make clear to them what the Secretary made clear on Friday, which is that we believe this type of full-scale invasion would be a mistake. It would be a mistake not just because of the extraordinary impact it would have on the somewhere around 1.4 million civilians who are in Rafah now, but it would also be a mistake because it would harm Israel's overall security. We think there is a better way to do it that would accomplish, as I said, what is a very legitimate national security goal of Israel's, which is to defeat the Hamas battalions that remain in Rafah. So we will continue to make that case to them. I expect that we will have other ways to do so over the coming days, but I would not want to make any predictions about what will come after that.